It is 8:02 p.m. We will start as what we have mentioned in our chat. Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is Lini. Now, thank you very much for spending your evening here with us. I am so happy that even though it is holiday season, it's Christmas season, it's shopping season, a lot of you are still here dialing in for this very interesting topic for tonight, right? The title goes, You Need to Seriously Get This Done Before Christmas. Okay, I'm your host for today. And nowadays, right, we tend to look for a path towards a more secure retirement, or how do you secure your savings, your investments, as you see every day on the market volatility that's happening. First, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and then Ukraine war, and everyone is asking, hey, is it recession? Is it, or are we not yet? Or so there are always all these questions, right? And just in the Straits Times article 4 months ago, back in July, interestingly, it is observed that there is a rise in both contributions and participation of the young generation in the SRS scheme. Okay, SRS here stands for Supplementary Retirement Scheme. Okay, a topic that we're going to discuss a little more in detail today. And hopefully, a lot of myths or a lot of unknown about SRS is revealed today. Okay, SRS is a voluntary contribution scheme. It is not compulsory, it's voluntary, which complements your CPF, okay, known as Central Provident Fund. Very, very common term for many of you, I'm sure. Okay, so we will cover on how you can maximize the benefits of SRS to enhance retirement and, of course, your wealth and financial planning. Okay, I'm sure all of you has some burning questions to ask, things that you are not sure whether it's true or not. This is really the chance where, my panelists would be able to answer live. Okay, so plan your questions because our session today must end in 1 hour. Okay, and that includes whatever Q&A that you have for us. All right, and for the audience, we are actually also live on Zoom as well as Facebook. Okay, so if and of course, I must assure you, right, that it is going to be completely educational. Okay, so don't worry, there's not going to be any pushing or product selling in this session. Yeah, it's really meant to be educational so that you go into SRS, with your eyes open, right? So if you're watching us, please share with your other friends. And if you're on Facebook Live, it is even better. Yeah, just share it with all your friends on Facebook so that they too are able to benefit on the sharing that we have for you today. Okay, so I'm going to introduce my special guests and panelists tonight. Okay, they are our very experienced financial specialists. Okay, first of all, we have Alvin, Financial Services Director, Elin, Financial Advisory Consultant, and of course, Dhanesh, also Financial Advisory Consultant. Okay, so give a nice wave to everyone. I saw Dhanesh thumbs up to you. Okay, all right, let's start off with Alvin. Okay, Alvin has got over 20 years of experience. Yeah, very, very long, a veteran, I must say, in this financial planning industry. Okay, he is very, very conversant in both insurance as well as wealth management. I also see Alvin as a very passionate mentor, always willing to share, to coach his team, his members. It's like looking after your children. Sometimes it's tiring, but net is still happiness, right? That's why Alvin is still doing what he's doing today. Okay. He is also one of the fastest growing team with Phillip Wealth Advisory, and his team also runs a physical branch. Okay, if you are at Tai Seng, right? They run the Phillip Investor Center Tai Seng. Okay, so do drop by, say hello to them if you happen to be in the area. Now, Alvin, how about you introduce yourself to our audience tonight?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's session, and thanks, Lini, for introducing me. I hope that today's session will provide useful insights on how to use SRS for your benefit, and also avoiding the potential pitfalls while you use your SRS to plan for retirement. Thanks.
Thank you, Alvin. Now let's move on. Move on to Elin. Okay, so Elin is very, very passionate about about really enabling her clients, her friends to meaningfully plan their financials. Okay, which is why she joined this industry right after her graduation. Okay, she also aspire to be CHFC. What does that stand for? Okay, it means a chartered financial consultant. I'll leave Elin to tell you more about what CHFC is about, what she aspires to be, and if you follow Elin's page, right, which we'll show later, you will see even though she appears young, right, but she has been trusted by many of her clients, no matter what age, right, because maybe we're very, very positive personality. It is a joy to chat with Elin. Okay, so we have seen positive testimonials and reviews as well from either clients or even her team members, her fellow team members. Okay, so Elin, tell us more about yourself.
Thanks, Lini. Hello, I'm actually happy to be back again on Ask Me Anything seminar. I'm sure that most of you are here because you want to find out more about SRS and how can you leverage on it to achieve your desired lifestyle or goals. So friendly speaking, right, I only actually come across SRS after taking my CHSC, which emphasized on CHSC as one of the solutions to potential tax saving. But before we dive into this conversation of SRS, I would like to quickly introduce myself for those that who have been seeing me for the first time. My name is Elin, and other than working, I love to sing. Thank you.
So you sing at the end of the session, Elin. Okay, and of course, last but not least, we have Dhanesh. You see from his video, he's very strategically locate himself, position himself, so that he doesn't block his little snowman friend behind. Okay, so Dhanesh, even better, he is already in financial planning and advisory, even when he's still studying. Yeah, that's how much passion he has. Even as a student, he already embarked on his financial advisory journey. Okay, some of his clients old enough to be his dad, but really have a lot of learning, a lot of sharing, a lot of good tips from Dhanesh. And some of my friends or some of my colleagues tend to say, hey, I don't think financial planning is for me because I'm not rich. I think that is a very, very wrong concept. Everyone needs proper financial planning, right? And sometimes really the earlier you plan, the better it will be when it comes to, supporting your family, your dependents, and eventually planning for your own retirement, right? After you work so hard, you really want to enjoy hard as well when you retire. Okay, so now without further ado, I will get Dhanesh to personally introduce himself to us. Over to you, Dhanesh.
Yes, thank you, Lini. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend this webinar. I think enough has been said about me, so let's focus on these wonderful people in the audience and help them gain some clarity on SRS and how it's a wonderful tool for them to plan for their retirement.
All right, great. Now that we are done with the introduction, let me just flash you the next slide to give you statistics. Okay, this is data that we got from the MOF website. Okay, now just focus on, of course, it is an increasing trend. Yeah, it is very obvious to see that it is an increasing trend. This is charted from 2016 all the way to 2021. Okay, you can see in terms of the number of accounts that is open over the years, it has been increasing. The total contribution in $1 billion has also been increasing, right? So there must be something about it. Right? Why is everyone doing it, right? Which is why I have invited these 3 panelists today. By the way, they are repeat panelists, okay? Which means backed by popular demand in that sense, right? So all of you in the audience, you know, all our Ask Me Anything series are in our YouTube channel of PhillipCapital. It's also in our Facebook channel. You can play back if you think, hey, this is so good. What have I missed before? Hey, go in to our YouTube channel and play back all our AMA, I call it, Ask Me Anything series, right? On very, very interesting lifestyle topics that you always have questions about and you're not sure. And it is the perfect time, right, to have all these financial specialists to be answering your questions. All the better is to be live with us, right? Then we can answer your questions on the spot. Okay, do I have any brave panelists who want to explain a little bit more on this green color chart here?
Lini, I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
So there are 2 main reasons why the number of account holders and the amount of contributions has gone up. Number 1 is, I think, increased education on the SRS schemes. You see many campaigns by the government, SCPF board, and also online. And also increase in overall income in Singapore. Everyone is getting richer, I hope. And this makes contributing to SRS a worthwhile proposition. So what this means for you as an investor is that SRS is indeed a crowd-tested and trusted platform to save taxes and to invest.
Okay, great. I like that word, crowd-tested, right? Singaporeans are human in general. Hey, see first, we watch first, you know. If they go, then we go, you know, something like that, right? So this is indeed crowd-tested and you can see the trend, right? It is obviously increasing, okay? And SRS, obviously a very trusted platform as well, okay? Now, if I can get now the audience, the many audience tonight here to do a little bit of finger exercise, okay? Let's run our first poll of the day. How are you spending your money this Christmas? Yeah, you can see from the screen, you have option 1 on holiday trip. Option 2, spending meaning your money, right? Where is your money going? Number 1, holiday trip. Number 2, gifts for your loved ones. Number 3, just like me over here, trying very hard on planning for tax savings. You know, that's why I'm here to learn from our panelists tonight, or no plans. Okay, so if I can get everyone to just key in your answer. If you're on Facebook Live, no problem. Just type in the comment box. Okay, and just write 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, and we'll give everyone a little bit of time to key in your answers. All right, so I repeat again the question. How are you spending your money this Christmas? Number 1, holiday trip. Number 2, gift for loved ones. Number 3, planning for tax savings. And number 4, no plans. Okay, well, we give a little bit more time for the rest to be answering the question. For me, I'm spending money for holiday trip. I'm spending money for gift for loved ones. I'm trying to save up some money to plan for tax savings. So I am ABC, 1, 2, 3. I don't have that option, but that's me. Okay. So what about you? Very interesting. We have 41%. 41% of the audience tonight who is choosing planning for tax savings. Yeah, probably that's why they are here tonight. Okay, then we have 32% holiday trip. That's where their money is going. Okay, and then we have 25% gift for loved ones. And interestingly, coming at number 2 is 34%, no plans. Okay, so hopefully after our session tonight, you have some plans, right? On what you intend to do with what you have saved for the entire year. All right, very interesting poll there. Now, I would like to go on to the session proper for tonight. Okay, for those who is finding SRS a total new topic or something totally foreign, or I only know a little bit, I don't really know exactly. I hear my friends talking about it. I hear my colleagues going to the bank to open their SRS account. Let's now have our panelists to explain what exactly is SRS. Okay, anyone?
Thanks, Lini. Maybe I will do a quick one. I believe that, like you mentioned, many people actually heard of this term SRS when they started working. It could be from their agents, from their colleagues around them. So SRS stands for Supplementary Retirement Scheme. As dry as it sounds, it's actually more interesting than the upcoming 12/12 sales. SRS is actually a government scheme that is set up to help Singaporeans prepare for their retirement. You might get a little bit confused because you must be thinking, don't we already have CPF? What's the difference between CPF and SRS? So CPF only provides you a basic retirement income, as many Singaporeans will be using their CPF to purchase house. Therefore, depending on your CPF for retirement might not be a good idea. So this is where SRS is actually useful, as you'll be putting aside funds specially for your retirement. Plus, if you contribute to your SRS account by 31st December, which is coming soon, of every year, you will be qualified for tax relief.
Okay,
anyone want to add on?
I will add on. Okay, who is that? Either Dhanesh or Alvin. Let me add on first. 12/12 sales. This is the keyword I picked up. 31st December. Okay, today is 1st December. You have 30 days from today to do what you need to do. There's actually a deadline to SRS. I think later on they will also share there's actually a limit to SRS, right? So let's have, who is that? Dhanesh or Alvin, who want to add more to what Elin has shared?
Yes, thank you, Elin, for giving us an introduction to what the SRS scheme is. So being Singaporeans, we always want a good deal. And what can be better than savings? So as you can see from the table, I think that's the next slide.
Let's have the next slide for Dhanesh to explain. Okay, great.
So as you can see from the table, based on your annual income, you can expect a tax savings from $1,760 till $3,300. And if you did this every year, you will have anywhere between 50,000 and 100,000 extra for your retirement. Or you could treat your family to a really nice holiday every year with these savings.
So yeah, from this table, I can see that there can be potentially substantial savings, right? When you contribute to SRS, okay? Really, everyone is different. I think the whole point is to at least know what SRS is about. I don't think I expect you to be, super SRS expert, right? All the panelists here are still available for you to just have a quick check. Hey, can I confirm with you? Hey, can I check with you? They'll be more than happy to answer because, in their years of looking after their clients, right, they would most probably have already encountered that question that you have in mind, right? So you don't have to be alone. There's also a lot of information on Mr. Google, okay? Otherwise, ask someone, right? Ask someone who is a qualified person to explain to you a little bit more about it. Now let's go on to the next question for the day, right? Who should be contributing to SRS? Yeah, who and how much? How much? Very important question. How much should the contribution be? Yeah, for someone who is new, I'm sure you have this question. Is it for me? Should I be doing this? And if I should be doing this, how much should I be contributing? Okay, let's hear from our panelists.
Hi, I'll take this.
Okay.
In my years of advising clients on financial planning, the use of SRS has always been coming up. From my experience, I find that the most comfortable period to put in SRS is between 30 to 50 years old. And of course, the older you are towards retirement, if you are more spare cash, you can always put it in. The 30 to 50 years old band is also the band where they have the highest expenses. So I would like to just advise that you need to balance between deferring your tax versus running your life on a very tight budget. Of course, if some of my clients who are super low spenders and have a lot of liquidity in their bank account, then contributing to SRS is a good thing. Yep.
All right. Is there anyone who would like to add to what Alvin has shared?
Yes, I agree with
Okay,
Alvin.
Dhanesh. Yep.
As shown in the chart earlier, the benefit of contributing to SRS comes when your
Hang
tax
on.
rate
Let's
is
flash the chart again, Felicia. Okay, for the benefit of the rest, everyone who is watching, right? I have crew members very busy behind the scene to also make this event possible. Okay, hopefully they will show their face later on for you to give them a little clap. Dhanesh, do you want to look at this chart or you want to
yes,
look at the green
correct.
chart? Okay,
This
because
one,
there's
please.
also a request I see in Q&A to flash the chart. So we will show this table and we'll also show back the green chart after Dhanesh is done sharing. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I agree with what Alvin said. As shown in this chart, the benefit of contributing to SRS comes when your tax rate is sufficiently high. Otherwise, you're just locking up funds for very little immediate benefit. Yes.
Okay. So we have a Lim, KH Lim, who would like to see the previous chart. So if I can have Felicia to just show the green one, the one with the lines and the bar chart. I think it's before this one. Just to flash that slide again. Yeah. Okay. I think I hope KH Lim, this is what you wanted to see. Feel free if you want to take a screenshot or of the chart. Okay. All right. We will now go on to audience time again. It is time for poll number 2. Okay. Let me read this to you. Do you contribute to SRS? We'll just like to have a little sneak peek to our audience profile today. Do you contribute to SRS? Again, for those late ones who are just joining us on Facebook Live, to give us your reply, you just have to type number 1, yes. Number 2, no. Number 3, when I happen to remember, right? Because SRS is a yearly thing, right? Hey, I think this year I haven't put in, or have I put in already? You know, so this is when I remember, right? And number 4, I don't even have an SRS account. Okay, for those who are on Zoom, very easy. You just have to click the answers accordingly. So let me repeat the question, the poll. Do you contribute to SRS? Number 1, yes. Number 2, no. Number 3, when I remember. And number 4, I don't even have an SRS account. So just a personal sharing. For me, I only started mine a few years ago. Okay, I think it's way too late. I should have started it a lot earlier. Okay, but never too late. So I started my SRS account a few years ago and started to enjoy those benefits that our panelists have been sharing today or will be sharing more later. Okay, so it's all right if you have not even opened your SRS account. Like me a few years ago, never too late to have fun. All right. I will give another minute and we'll close the poll and I will read the results. Oh, wow. Nice. Okay. Let me see. I will start from the bottom this time round to announce the results. 4% in our audience tonight say that they have SRS, but they will contribute when they remember. Okay, so there are 4% of tonight's audience that selected that. Very honest. Thank you for your honesty. And then second from below is 12%. I don't even have an SRS account. Okay, then we have the third from below, 22% do not contribute to SRS. So maybe they have SRS and then they don't contribute to SRS. Could be that, right? And I'm glad that 64% of the audience tonight do contribute to SRS. And I hope it's regularly, okay? All right, that is your answer for your poll number 2. And we have a very interesting chart again before I go on to my next question. Yes, here you go. Okay, actually it is also from a same source, MOF source, okay? And I just want the audience to focus on that red arrow, okay? The red dotted arrow, which is an indication. If you look at the box, it is the green bar, okay? The first bar, which is the green color, and it states 18 to 35 age group. Okay, this is again echoing the green chart at the beginning that we flashed at the start of tonight's session. Okay, there has been a marked increase, okay, even from December 2020 to December 2021 in terms of the account holders. Okay, so the number of account holders has increased quite significantly over the past 1 year. Okay, and I wonder why. You know, I'm sure again our specialist tonight can give a bit more enlighten us a bit more, right, on what could have happened. Why is there such a marked increase over the past 1 year? Anyone?
Yes, I can take this.
Thank you.
So as you said earlier, it's the reason is very similar to the overall trend as we saw in the green chart. But there's an added dimension of the younger population being financially savvy. So being exposed to a plethora of financial media, from blogs to online videos to conversations with friends, the younger population is equipped with so much more information to make informed choices. Yeah.
Actually, I agree with Dhanesh. Another reason could be also because of the statutory retirement age has been raised from 62 to 63 since 1st July 2020. And it will further increase to 65 by 2030. So if you want to withdraw your money at age 63, which is in the, like the current age, you should actually make your first contribution now. If you are still unsure about whether SRS could be useful for you, you can contribute as little as $1. So just don't put more than that if you still haven't figured out how SRS account can help you in retirement planning yet.
Oh, it is. This is first time I'm hearing you can put $1. So something new I learned from Elin today, right? So there is really not like exorbitant or minimum amount that you must contribute. In fact, just putting in a dollar give you that whole flow of experience in terms of how do you go about setting it up, right? So that, where about do you go to set up SRS? What do you need? What documents will be required? Things like that, right? And very true what Dhanesh has shared is really about the ease of flow of information to the youngsters, right? Nowadays, youngsters, they get everything from social media. When I ask my kids, hey, do you know the Queen of England has died? Yeah, we know. We saw from TikTok. So they read. They don't read the newspaper, perhaps, right? But they are on YouTube. No, not really YouTube. They're all on TikTok. Okay, so they spend dedicated hours. Okay, on TikTok. They get the trending songs. I thought this song was popular in the 90s. How come they know? I heard it from TikTok. Yeah, it's all TikTok nowadays. So yes, social media being the very, very main source of information for our youngsters aged 18 to 35 nowadays. All right, let's go to a very, very important question of the day. How do I unlock the power of SRS? This one I'm very interested to know what our panelists tonight have to share. How do I unlock the power of SRS?
Okay, I will probably share some on this. SRS is actually a tax deferment scheme. In layman term, it means that we push the tax repayment to retirement age. So once you do your first withdrawal on your retirement age, which actually depends on when you started this SRS account, only half of the withdrawal amount will be taxable. So you should also consider making withdrawal only after you have retired and stop earning an income. So if you have no other source of taxable income, your first 20,000 of your total annual income is tax exempted. So in a perfect scenario, if you withdraw 40,000, only 20,000 is taxable. And with no other alternative income stream, we effectively have no tax to pay for that year.
No tax to pay. Oh, wow. I would like to hear Elin repeat again, right? How is it that one can have no tax to pay in that perfect scenario that she just shared? Maybe Elin, could you just explain slowly to us one more time?
Okay, sure. So currently, right, you will only need to pay personal income taxes if you earn more than 20,000 per year. So when you retire and you do not have any other personal taxable income, you can withdraw up to 40,000 per year from your SRS account tax-free, on or after reaching the statutory retirement age, because only half will be taxable. Therefore, it's just 20,000. So in short, you do not need to pay any tax when it's actually 20,000.
Okay. I hope everyone get this little secret there that many may not know. Anything else anyone has to add? Alvin is unmuting himself.
Yep. Yeah. Adding on to what the very valid point by Elin, that is basically a tax deferred tax mechanism. One must also be very careful not to invest SRS into we already know that 50% of the withdrawn amount is taxable. So the ideal situation is to invest in instruments that that grow steadily, and when you take them out, it's not taxable, or it's taxable at a minimum rate. So so the last thing you want is to generate such high returns that when you draw out, you're actually being taxed for your capital gains. For people who have been investing in Singapore, you realize that Singapore has this no capital gain tax on all investments. So if you were to put them into SRS, you might get yourself taxed for no reason. Yep. So so what I'm trying to say is that we just got to be aware of what we are putting our instruments, put the SRS money into what instruments. And if it's too high risk, high returns, I would probably invest using my cash instead of SRS. Yep.
Okay. So I think by this point of our tonight's fireside chat, right, we will know in general that yes, it is good to have contribution to SRS, right? But there are certain details that you need to be aware of, right? So that you really maximize, like what the slides say, right? You maximize the power of SRS, right? So with that, I think I am very interested to find out through our next poll. Okay, poll number 3. Which one is better for retirement planning? I remember Elin at the very start did share, why do I need SRS? Don't I already have CPF, right? So here is the chance for you to tell us a bit more. Which one do you think is better for retirement planning? Number 1, CPF top-up. Number 2, SRS top-up. Number 3, bank savings. And number 4, I am not sure. Those on Zoom, you can just click your answer. And those who are on Facebook, you can type in the comment. Okay, I repeat the question. Which one is better for retirement planning? Number 1, CPF top-up. Excuse me. Cold evening. Number 2, SRS top-up. Number 3, bank savings. And number 4, I am not sure. Okay, we should be expecting our results very, very soon. Let's have more of you participating in this poll. We'll just give a little bit more time. Which one is better? I see the Q&A building up, right? You should also watch the time. Do put in your questions if you have really burning questions, and we will reply them live later on at the end of the session. Okay, now let's see what the result reveals. Now I'll start from the highest, okay? Which one is better for retirement planning? We have 47% replying to CPF top-up. We have 39% saying that SRS top-up is better. And then we have 24% who are still not sure. And then we have 4% that feels bank savings would be better. Okay, that will take us to our next question for tonight. Let's see. How can I maximize the growth of retirement funds with my SRS account? Yeah, so if you think SRS is the way to go, then you need to know, right? How do you really maximize it, right? So maybe the next chart would help. Okay, why? Why do I say the next chart would help? Because we Singaporeans, when we go to a hawker center, when we go to a coffee shop, when the queue is very, very long, what does it mean? Must be good, right? Yeah, so maybe this chart gives you a little bit of clue. When a lot of people are going into it, maybe it must be good, right? So you would see 28% of SRS contribution goes to investment in shares, REITs, ETFs. Okay, so I will lump this all in stock and shares category. Okay, and then very close to it is 26% who are using the contribution for insurance. Okay, maybe some of you would, huh? SRS can buy insurance. Hey, you can. Yeah, so 26% of people are doing that. 24% are leaving it as cash balance. I don't know whether that's good. I want to ask the panelists later. Cash balance, 24%, which is still quite a high percentage. 11% decide to buy unit trust with it. Okay, 10% don't know. A lot of fight, right? So I'll just categorize it as others. And 1%, only 1% decide to use it for fixed deposits. Yeah, and I would like to know why. Maybe we can have our specialist tonight to explain a bit more on this wheel here. Elin, you want to start?
Oh, okay.
Anything to share on this?
Actually, not too sure if you guys know, actually your cash sitting idling in your SRS account only earns 0.05% per annum. That's actually pretty similar to any of your everyday saving account. The funny thing is, in fact, all the current saving account is actually giving more than 0.05. So technically, you are at the lower tier. So aside from investment, the second commonly used instrument for SRS would be insurance, such as endowment plans or your lifetime income plan. Even though those returns of insurance product might not be 100% guaranteed because there's a guaranteed and non-guaranteed portion, but it's actually way far better than just letting it sit inside your SRS account with 0.05% interest, which actually doesn't protect your cash from inflation at all. So, Alvin, do you have something to share?
Alvin or
Yep.
Dhanesh, anything to add?
Yeah, I think I just reiterate what I just said the last time I talked. The thing about using our SRS to invest, one has to be careful about the capital gains that's taxable if it grows too much. So personally, I always prefer to use medium to lower risk instruments and for my SRS monies, and my cash to invest in higher risk instruments that can generate me high returns. So that's how I'll split it.
Okay,
Thanks.
I will take my key takeaway from Alvin. I thought this is quite a good point to take note of, right? Which is Alvin would suggest that we put into medium and lower risk instrument, right? When you are using your SRS for any type of investment. What about Dhanesh? Anything else to add on top of what Elin and Alvin have shared?
Yeah, so as they have said, it's really a waste to leave your SRS money just sitting idle in your account. So for me, how I advise my clients is it's really based on their risk profile. So I usually recommend either insurance products or unit trusts, and also depends on their time horizon and their risk appetite, and then we advise accordingly.
Okay, so I hope the audience tonight who are contributing to SRS are not in the 24% cash balance category, right? Because it seems like from what I can draw, it is a little bit wasted, right? A little bit wasted because it literally earns you what 0.05. That means if I put what $100 a year, I get 5 cents back. Is that the calculation? Is that correct? 0.05%. Or is that less than that? $100 a year, 0.05%. How much do I get? Okay, everyone take out your calculator and count for yourself. Okay, next one. I have another interesting chart. Okay, so you can see 4 different colored lines here. Okay, the blue one, which is the most bottom one, is uninvested. The dark orange is a portfolio that's yielding 1%. And then the gray one is a portfolio that's yielding 4%. And the yellow or the light orange is a portfolio that's yielding 8%. Do we have anyone to explain this chart a little bit for us?
I'll take this since I've been talking about this capital gain tax. For my audience who do not know what I'm talking about, why is things being taxable? You say only half being taxed. One good thing is when you look at this chart, it actually shows you how much you can save towards retirement by investing in different instruments. Just to put this in the context of SRS, if you put around 15,000 a year from 40 years old to 65, and you're putting in a higher risk instrument that gives you 8%, you find that you can actually save over $1 million. In fact, it's quite substantial. And that's great news for retirement. But if you put it in the SRS account, you realize that you have only 10 years to redraw them. And you will never have the ideal situation where Elin mentioned to say that, oh, I hope to redraw 40,000 and I only recognize 20,000 because you have $1 million stuck in SRS and you're only given 10 years to redraw them. So again, back to my point, if you are faced with this situation, you might end up being taxed for the investments you have done. Yep. So this is something to take note of. And on the flip side, if you put your money in SRS and not doing anything about it, that's worse to me. You get eaten up by inflation. So whatever is saved on taxes will go into the inflation monster if you leave them doing nothing. So SRS planning is about having this fine balance between capital growth and also minimizing your tax at the end of the day. Yep, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Alvin. I think that really reaffirm, the initial earlier point, right, about putting your SRS investment into low and medium risk category kind of products, right? So let us move on to the next one. Okay, this is also our last question for the day before we quickly go on to the Q&A. And don't leave this webinar, okay? Because at the last part, I want all of our specialists, they better start thinking already, to give me some fun facts about SRS, you know, things about SRS that many of us don't know. And I think from their sharing, you know, they should elaborate and share. I see Dhanesh disappearing from the screen. I hope he's not having any technical problem. We will go on first with what we have. What should I do? Dhanesh is back. Very good. What should I do with my SRS before Christmas? Which is what the title of tonight's webinar is really about, right? What should you should seriously or SRS-ly get this done before Christmas, right? Which is what draws most of you to join tonight's session. Okay, so let's get our panelists to share what I should do before I go for my Christmas holiday. I have 30 days to do this. Go on.
Okay. Perhaps I will just do quite a quick summary of the whole thing that we have been talking about. So first thing first, you know, if you do not have a SRS account, you should start one today. You know, while retirement could be a distant away for some people, the younger one, you know, the years that we make our contribution to SRS actually matters, as it affects the year in which we can withdraw our SRS fund. So your SRS can be withdrawn without penalty upon a statutory retirement age when you make your first SRS contribution. Since you know you can contribute any amount to your SRS account, this contribution can be as little as $1, as we mentioned earlier on. So you know why you delay the age in which you can withdraw without penalty when you can ensure an earlier retirement age with a small contribution today. So secondly, you know, for those with SRS account, you should actually top up to the max of $15,300. The more you top up, the more tax saving you have. So as the year comes to a close, why not you maximize the amount of tax saving you can enjoy by boosting your SRS account? Singaporeans and PR can contribute up to $15,300 to their SRS account, while foreigners can actually contribute up to $35,700. You know, while tax savings are appealing, this should only be done when you can afford it, especially since early withdrawal will incur a 5% penalty. So lastly, you have to plan and spread out your withdrawal. As early withdrawal incur a 5% penalty and 100% taxable, you should actually look to withdraw from your SRS account only upon a statutory retirement age. With withdrawals, you know, after your retirement age are actually taxable at 50%, as I shared earlier on, the perfect scenario, and it can be withdrawn over a period of 10 years. So you should plan and stagger your withdrawal across 10 years to reduce the amount of tax that you have to pay with each withdrawal. There's no minimum or maximum withdrawal amount imposed. You know, I know it's quite a lot of information for you guys to process, so I will summarize in 3 short pointers. So 3 sets of magical numbers for you to remember today. Firstly is 1, because $1 can help you start an SRS account today and lock in the retirement age for penalty-free withdrawal. So second is 15300, which is actually the maximum amount of contribution every year. You know, even if you like SRS so much, right, and you like to contribute, but there's always a cap on, you know, how much the tax can actually take in the SRS, which is $15,300. Third is actually 10, which is you should plan and spread out your withdrawal over 10 years so you can reduce or even eliminate the amount of tax you need to pay. So that's all that you will need to do, you know, with the SRS before Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Elin. So I don't know, maybe some audience are writing down numbers to buy 4D instead. So let me shift their focus back here, okay? So from what I, as a diligent student, so I have remembered that $1 is the minimum you can contribute to SRS, and 15,300 is the maximum you can contribute per year to SRS, and 10 years, okay, that part. So three sets of numbers. Very good. We have 9 minutes. I think we should, what do we have next? Can we flash the next one? Okay, this is important. If really, you know, we try to answer as many questions as you have, right? Our specialists here are quite active on their social media, on their broadcasts, you know, and they are more than happy, you know, to have you um, also benefit from the sharing that they have to their clients. Okay, so you can either scan the QR code or just take a quick photo of this screen first, and then you can always make friends and connect with them later on, right? Otherwise, there's also all the hotline that you can get in touch with us. So they are more than happy, yeah, to have you as part of their broadcast on important reminders, important changes that will affect your financial planning. Okay, now let's see the next slide that we have. Yeah, so we are always listening to our audience comments and suggestions. If you like our AMA series, please join us and like us on Facebook. Again, you can just scan the QR code if you like. On Facebook, we are called Phillip Wealth Advisory. Phillip with double L, no S. Okay, that's Phillip. Of course, I mentioned earlier, Alvin's team is continually expanding, one of the fastest growing team. We are also hiring and expanding. If you think, hey, this looks like something I want to do, something meaningful, just like what all three of them find joy and passion in doing this, right? Join us then, right? We welcome you as well, right? And next one. Okay, Q&A. Let's see. I think we quickly target the very easy questions first. We have one question from Fozia Muhammad Yusuf. Is there age limit? Can a retiree also contribute SRS? Anyone? Alvin, you want to answer? Is there an age limit?
There's no age limit, but the question you have to ask is because it's tax deferment, right? So to answer should a retiree contribute, I think shouldn't because no income, no tax, no need to
so what
put
is
it
there
somewhere.
To benefit?
Yeah, so
okay.
So that's the part that I would like to say. It's
Okay.
purely to save your year's tax. That's all. So if you're not taxable, then really you don't have to consider SRS.
All right. Hope that answers your question. I think at the end of the day, you want to benefit from it, right? So if it no longer benefits much, then you may want to consider something else. When this is similar, right? When will my SRS account last? Until what age? I think Elin can probably answer this question. This is part of what she has shared earlier.
Okay, basically, if you never withdraw at all, you will not start the 10 years phase for you withdraw. Like, you know, like I mentioned, upon you starting to withdraw, right, then you will start the 10 years countdown. But if you never withdraw anything, then you just continue letting it sit inside all the way, then it's fine. But the thing is, something for them, you guys to take note, it probably will be, you know, when a SRS member dies, so any sum standing in their SRS account shall be deemed to withdraw on the date of his death. And only 50% will be deemed as his income chargeable to tax. However, you have to bear in mind that, you know, your beneficiary will only see up to 400K of their SRS balance to be exempted from tax. The remaining fund should subjected to 100% tax free. So even if you don't want to withdraw, you want to keep it in, then make sure that it doesn't exceed the amount, because afterwards it will be 100% taxable.
Okay, very comprehensive explanation there from Elin. I would like to get my panelists to also answer this particular question from Lokesh Prasad. How can an expat or foreigner, because just now we hear, right, there is different limit for Singaporean as well as foreigner. How can expat or foreigner withdraw the SRS funds after the 10 years? What is the tax implication if the foreigner leaves Singapore or already left Singapore? Anyone?
Yes, I can take that. Yeah, so for foreigners, there's a consideration of whether the person is a tax resident at the point of time. and that depends on how long you stay in Singapore. So that's a bit complex. I think we can take that offline. But in summary, foreigners are allowed to withdraw penalty-free before their retirement age, so like 62 or 63, but only if they withdraw their SRS savings 10 years after they started an active SRS account, as long as you put that $1 in. And they must also withdraw their SRS savings in full. So there's also a question of a withholding tax and how much tax you have to pay when you make the withdrawal. So that's a bit complex. You can always reach out to us and then we can explain more to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Dhanesh, for answering that question. Next one, let's have this question from Win, right? Win said, my advisor suggested that I use SRS funds to buy an endowment policy without a maturity date. Is that wise? How will that affect withdrawal taxes? Anyone can answer this question?
Okay, I'll probably answer it. And okay, it's actually really up to individual. You know, there's no best solution, but actually what solution suit you the best? You know, SRS returns, it actually depends on the investment you make. So, sometimes people actually invest in SRS funds, then you also need to review your investment portfolio with your advisor to see, what the investment gap that SRS can fill in. So for example, if you were to use like all on your investment and your cash, you also went to invest. So in terms like, you are really in a very high risk appetite kind of thing. Like your risk profile your risk is very high in terms because you're using all your retirement fund to invest. So sometimes, it would be better, I would suggest my client to actually use SRS to buy into like annuity plans or endowment plans to spread out their eggs across different baskets. So they will just use their cash on hand to invest in equities. So ultimately, this still boils down to like what is your risk appetite and your investment goal or whatever goals you have. Unlike cash, investment sometimes might not be the best choice as well, because also, it's actually for SRS fund that cannot be invest in different funds. I mean, there's also limited funds that you can invest in, not all. Like unlike cash, you can actually buy anything you want. So I will not say that it's wise or not wise, but it actually depends on the individual itself, whether it is suitable for their risk appetite.
I'll add on to that, because time is running short. Maybe when you look at explore SRS withdrawals, please understand that you have only 10 years. So you do not start little and land up with a big chunk at the end of the 10th year, because it's going to be a very big headache if you are left with, say, 400,000 at the year 10, of which you will be taxed. They'll recognize it as a tax of 200,000 income. And that will create a very, very big headache when it comes to SRS withdrawal. So while we talk about planning for SRS contribution, we must also plan for SRS withdrawals. We got to do it properly, in other words. Yeah.
Okay, I think that is very important again for everyone to note. This number 10, okay, which is also mentioned by Elin. Really, we have tried to answer as many questions as our participants have posed for us. But as I mentioned before that, I would like to also take the chance for them to give us some fun facts. Can we flash the next slide? Fun facts about SRS. Okay, anyone who wants to start, please go.
I'll go first.
Okay. Yes.
So just a fun fact one. If you still have a significant amount of money that left in the SRS nearing the end of your 10 years withdrawal phase, you can choose to liquidate your investment to purchase an annuity plan provided by an insurance company. It's because reaching the end of your 10 years withdrawal, right, means you have been withdrawing for the years until the last year. SRS will only consider your surrender value of your annuity plan as taxable. So it is actually a very small amount because you have been withdrawing, they have been paying out their yearly payout every year. So the second fun fact is actually your funds in your SRS can actually be withdrawn in two ways. One way is a traditional way in cash. Another way is actually the form of investment that can actually go directly to your CDP account or your brokerage account for unit trust. So this option actually allows you to avoid liquidating your SRS investment and also allow you to hold your SRS investment outside the SRS scheme. It's extremely important during the time when the market is low. You don't need, because up to 10 years really, you do not need to sell them off, but you can actually transfer them into your CDB account or brokerage account. So that's for me.
Fun fact 1 and 2 from Elin. Let's have any more fun facts from anyone.
Maybe I'll take this. Okay. Fun fact number 1: if you're a mother with 2 children and you're entitled for working mother's child's relief, and you're actually earning a good income, there's actually a chance that you really should not put SRS. I want to be a devil's advocate here. SRS is not for everyone, which we're trying to say. Really need to sit down and see whether is there any tax incentive to put into SRS. That's because there's a tax relief cap of 80,000 for everyone. And my wife, we have 3 kids, not saying my wife, 3 kids. We have 3 kids. So we know that will not benefit from any SRS contribution from the calculation. If you need to know more details, do look for someone to advise you on that. Fun fact number 2 is basically something interesting and highly encouraged for the youngsters. Basically, if you are earning well and you are having a tax bracket of say 15%, by putting it in, and say one day you decide to go for further studies, or maybe you're even unemployed for that year, actually drawing out when you need the money is really not too bad, because you only penalize 5%. So you think about it, save 15% and penalize 5%. Life's really not too bad, by putting some money into SRS. Yep, I think that's basically what I want to say. Yep.
Thank you, Alvin. Dhanesh, we are dying to hear your fun fact.
Yes, my fun fact is actually similar to the question that was asked earlier. Yeah, so an expat, the highest withdrawal tax of a flat 22% will apply if your SRS withdrawal exceeds 200,000. So in the event that you leave Singapore, that question earlier. So you have to be mindful of how much you top up also to avoid paying taxes when you withdraw.
Okay, I think we have reached the end of tonight's session. Apologies that we are a little bit of overrun, a few minutes. Okay, I'm very happy that 95%, this one my own poll, 95% of you stay put all the way to the end. Yeah, thank you very much. Can we see any more slides do we have? Okay, just another touch point if you didn't manage to catch it earlier. Otherwise, those who still have burning questions, right? Those who are hungry, you want to go for your supper, to go for your beer. Is there football to watch tonight? I'm not sure. Please go ahead. Okay, we will still be here for a little bit while more. If you really have questions, just type it in the Q&A, and we will try to answer it. If not, we will close this session. Yeah. So thank you very much. This is literally the last AMA series that we are running for this year before Christmas. You will see us again next year. If you join our Facebook, you can also suggest to us topics that you wish our financial specialists can share in our 2023 AMA series. Again, thank you everyone for spending your evening with us tonight. Thank you.